Welcome to Wine Soundtrack Australia. Listen to the passion with which producers narrate their winery and their world.
In 30 ounces, discover their stories, personalities and passions.
Hello, friends and listeners of Wine Soundtrack. My name is Priscilla Hennicam. I'm here with Nathalie Taquet. But we're going to talk about two different business, right?
Yes, exactly, Priscilla.
So before you're talking about what you do, she's a VIP person, people. She's actually doing a great job here in Australia. So she has building a new technology program. Plus, as well, she has something else to talk to us about eBottli. Okay, we're going to talk about a little bit about in details. But tell us how everything started. So how did you get involved in the wine industry?
Yes, so my passion is in wine, as you can hear my accent. I'm French. And I moved to Australia 3 years ago with the ambition to create my own startup. Because before I worked 15 years in research in France, especially with the big company Nestle Skin Health. And I decided to move to the wine industry because I have family who produce some small batch and I am passionate by the wine as a wine lover. And I wanted to help vineyards or wineries to push them with new technologies because it's my passion. And it's why in Australia it's a very good place to play because there is a lot of innovation where you can propose different things and to be outside the box.
Yeah, Australia is actually very famous to accept different things. So what is your first memory relevant to wine when you were very little and your mom and dad did something different, something you have like some nice story to share?
Well, it's because in France you try to learn about wine very early. So it was like a family meeting where you just try red wines and just understand how it works in the wine industry in terms of region and the grape varieties, cepage. So my best memory is to have this kind of knowledge from your father, for example, to try a new taste and new wines, and it's amazing.
How were you when you first time you actually tasted some wine?
I was in Bordeaux, in France, with my father, and we visited the Bordelais with different chateaux. And in fact, it's very interesting to see that your palate changed during your different age. And I think before I drank a lot of different kind of Bordeaux, and now I'm moving to more Burgundy and international wine. And for me to be in Australia, it's amazing because I have to learn again because the climate and the soil is different and the impact of the toast is important. So you have to learn again that a Merlot, a French Merlot or French Chardonnay is totally different from an Australian Chardonnay or Australian Merlot.
So you enjoy a lot of the Australian wines now?
Exactly, and you have to adjust your palate because it's stronger because of the climate. But it's amazing, yeah.
So, what does wine mean to you?
For me, wine means passion, stories behind the bottle, and a lot of heritage sharing between the different generations. So it's not only alcohol, it's not only a product, it's also behind the story, the amazing story of producer, winemaker, owner. It's why I love this industry because I can see every day some different wine lovers or winemakers passionate by what they do, and they transfer their passion to other people. And it's why I don't work every day. It's more I do what I love.
Give a little bit more details about you too, Nathalie.
So what I do, I help them to move to new technologies, especially with the COVID-19. A lot of wineries were affected where they had only paper to find new customers or They didn't have some e-shop, for example, a mobile app to find a customer worldwide with the Apple Store or Play Store. And during their processes, they had a lot of papers, so their journey were crazy to figure out with managing everything. And the passion to do the wine was too small. So the time consuming of papers, we can help them for that and reduce that in a simple way with some software interface. If they have 5 software, we just do only one interface to help them. Or if they want to report everything, we just with their mobile develop a solution where they just have to click and it's easy. So it's why we wanted to push them and open a window to say it's not complicated. In fact, it's easy, and we can help them for that.
Yeah, and you do some eBottli as well, yeah? Some you selling wines.
Exactly. So because we are implicated with them, we would like to support them. And especially with the China crisis, a lot of wineries cannot export anymore in China. And it's why we have this Bottli platform where they can put their wine for free, and we help them just to have more visibility for a small batch and to connect to customers. So, for example, when the customer order, we give them the database so they are directly in connection with their consumers rather than with distributors. They don't have the visibility of who drink their wines, so it's important for them to know who are the consumers.
So you pretty much, with your new technology, new ideas, you change the wine market in Australia, right?
Exactly. We try to propose new ideas and to every time we listen our customers. We see them, we meet them, and we try to understand them to answer to their needs rather than just to sell something and they don't need them.
Now you're French, so would you like to ask something very particular? Talking about Australia, what do you like most about our nation or generally?
In Australia, I think I love their approach about, for example, the labels. In France, it's very traditional. Here, there is a lot of ideas and creation around the labels, but also the winemaking process. They do, for example, some blend of different grape varieties that you cannot find in France. Yeah. And it's just amazing to see that. Here they do some red sparkling. We are not very familiar in France with red sparkling. So, so it's like a new experience, and it's just crazy ideas, and I love that, in fact.
So do you drink your red sparkling?
Not very often, but it's every time very surprising.
What do you not like about Australia on the whole?
I think wineries are afraid about technology. When you arrive and speak about blockchain, IT, IoT, they just are very, very afraid about this kind of terminology. And it's just, sometimes it's very hard to just speak the main language, but in fact it's just to help them, just to open their eyes that the fact that we are moving more faster and faster with new connected things, and it's important to be aware about the exist solutions, because otherwise you will not survive in the future, because if you continue to be driving by papers or without this connection with internet or website or software, it will be very complicated in the future.
And then probably you're just losing time, as well, because if you're still going to the old way. So that's why you're very passionate about technology and wine industry, putting all these two passions together?
Exactly, yes. The more difficult is to change habits, as you say, because people sometimes think that to have the paper, it's the best way to go. But yes, exactly, to change habits, sometimes it could be difficult. But in fact, after they say, oh, wow, why did I do that before?
So which is your preference between white, red, or rosé wine, or sparkling? Maybe you can choose a sparkling if you like it.
In fact, I think I love red wine because very complex, and yes, the tannin. I'm passionate by the different wine taste of the red. I think it's my favorite. And before I was more strong tannin in France, but in Australia it's light tannin, light body. For example, the French Merlot. Here in Australia it's very light. So I think now I'm moving more and more with stronger wines, because I discover in Australia very big body Shiraz, and my palate changes. So yes, but in fact I love also to be surprised. For example, to hit a camembert with a sparkling or something that you are not very familiar with. To be surprised with some food and wine pairing that you don't usually do. So yeah.
All listeners want to know, what is your preference dish, or what's your favorite dish? It will be Australia or it will be French?
Oh, it's a very good question. In fact, yes, I think I love French gastronomy because maybe it's because of my culture, or because I grew up with French gastronomy. But in Australia, you also have some amazing restaurants, and I am very surprised every day to see this multicultural approach of the food here in Australia. Because in French, it could be maybe too more French. Here, you have worldwide food, and it's just amazing to find a wine with your food here, because you have to be very creative, I think.
Yeah. And what do you like to pair with? French or with Australian wine?
Oh, it's a good question. I think sometimes during a dinner, I bring some French wine, and I have an Australian wine with friends. And I was every time surprised that the Australian wines have very, very good stories to speak about, and also taste, especially because they have old grapes here. They have grapes that are older than France. Because of the phylloxera in France, we have to change that. And yes, you could be very surprised. And I think French people don't know as much as what Australian wine could be, so complex. And if you keep your Australian wine a little bit, you will be very surprised.
Yeah, that's so true. Do you like a social media for a start? Do you like social media? Do you use a lot of social media?
In fact, with my startup, I had to learn about social media. So 2 years ago, I just started my first story on Instagram, and it was a very big experience.
A lot of comments, a lot of people say like, what is this, Nathalie?
Yes, exactly. Even if I have a PhD or an MBA, I was not able to do my first story with Instagram.
Which is your favorite platform? Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram?
I think I love Instagram because it's very visual with the pictures. So it's just easy to see and enjoy the different posts. So yes, I think I love Instagram. Yeah.
What is the nicest film dedicated to wine? Do you have anyone in your mind?
You mean like brand?
Film.
Oh, film. Okay. It's a good question. I think there is a lot of film, because in France, I think 70% of the movies are with wines. So it's a very hard question for us as a French.
We have so many options.
Yes, because I did, for example, a food and wine pairing in the Alliance Française, and we analyzed all the French movies with some French wine sequences, and there is a lot of movies about that. So, can I take a joker for this question?
Yeah. So you just jump it?
Yes, I think I jump it.
So when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a teacher, I think.
Teacher? Yeah. About
science. So in France, I was teacher for kids, and in high school also. I think now I love to transmit the wine passion, and I continue to educate about wine, and I love it. I did the WSET, not as you, level 2 only. But I love, in fact, when we organize some events, to speak about wine and to just share this passion, see what people can taste in their palate, because we are all different. And also because it remembers some good stories in your mind when you speak about the wine also. So, yes, I think I love, education too.
Wine is really storytelling, yeah. So every bottle of wine have like a philosophy, a story behind. So always it's nice to be educated and share to other people, yeah.
Exactly, yes. I think I share your same passion than you, Priscilla, about it, educate about wine. Yeah.
When you're not at work, what do you spend your free time? When you're not talking about wine, what else do you do?
In fact, I love to be in the middle of the nature, to walk in a forest and to discover new food, new wine. So during the weekend, I love to just go to McLaren Vale or in Barossa or in the hills around Adelaide and just discover new places. I don't like to go 2 times in the same place, so I like to every time change. And there is so many places to discover, especially here in South Australia. So yes, just to walk in the middle of the nature and just have good food and wine. It's amazing to be happy.
Do you practice any sport?
Good question. Because if you drink wine, you have to practice some sport sometimes.
It's better.
It could be better. So I think I love to walk. In fact, I don't know if it's a sport, but yes, bicycle and walking and swimming. I think it's my 3 sports.
Nathalie, have you ever had someone read you the tarot card? The tarot card, like it to know about your future? Did you get anyone to read you tarot cards?
Oh, in the future?
Yeah, it's like people reading cards for you to understand what you do for the future. So what happened to you in the future?
It's a good question because
have you had someone reading you like tarot cards or not really?
Oh, okay. No. It's exactly because my background is in science. Tarot for me it's quite mystical. So no, I never had people reading my tarot cards, but yes, I don't know. I think I live day by day and try to have a vision and mission for my startup, but I totally don't know what will happen in the future.
Which sport do you follow? Do you like soccer or Australia football? Do you have any favorite sport to follow?
I love to follow basketball. It's a very good team sport that I support and I like. I like also tennis. I think it's beautiful to see, yes.
Would you ever be winemaker, Nathalie?
Oh, wow. It's very hard work and job. I will love to be implicated in the winemaking process, but I'm not sure I will be able to do it by myself because as a passion, I love to discover different things, and I will be frustrated to only produce 4 or 5 or 6 different things. I would like to just taste, 100 things, different things.
If you are a winemaker, you just want to produce one different wine every year.
Yes, probably, and it will be not profitable.
So you don't want to produce the same wine, it's too boring, right?
Yes, I think it will be not good for the cash flow.
So Nathalie, tell us, do you have any favorite actor or actress?
I love, I think, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio. I think it was interesting to see the different kind of movies he played from his young age to now. It's quite a huge range of different kind of movies. Yes, I think I I love the French style of movies because it's more philosophic or deeper in the behaviors. But again, I love also worldwide movies like Indian movies or African movies. It's very interesting to see the different styles. So very multicultural.
So Nathalie, I wanted to invite you for a game. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
So I play a game. I just tell you like names of VIP or famous people. I promise you know that people because they're quite famous in the world. And then you need matching wine or grape varieties, and then tell us why did you choose. That's okay. It's very easy.
Okay, wow, I'm afraid.
I started with you, just the one you told me, Leonardo DiCaprio. Which one do you recommend to him?
Probably champagne, because for example, the Wolf of Wall Street was like bling bling, and so maybe a good champagne could be a good pairing.
And there's someone very bubbly like Beyonce. What do you recommend for her? Beyonce?
Beyonce, okay. Maybe like red Shiraz with good strong body, like maybe like pepper toast or something with a beautiful personality and a good peps.
Good. So why do you choose that one? Just because she has like that great personality?
I think with her voice and the personality, the person, I think it's a beautiful charisma and also like a woman power, I think. Yeah.
And then someone like Michael Jackson.
Oh, good. Maybe it could be a rosé.
Rosé, why?
Yeah.
Very curious.
Yes, very curious because rosé, it's like a red and white, you know, like the both approaches. So because Michael have an history with black skin and also he changed white skin, so it's like a mix of black and white, I think.
And the rosé is very much a mix between red and the white.
It's like his own black and white. So it could be a good deal.
So if you're thinking about the Queen, Elizabeth,
maybe it could be more a traditional white wine.
White for her?
Yes, white for her, just because it could be more monarchy style with more traditional with church, so it could be more dry white wine. Yes.
Any grape you wanted to choose for her?
Maybe it could be like a Sauvignon Blanc, like some small touch of citrus, like because I think it's very rigorous and with a lot of character, like royalty characters.
And Angelina Jolie, she's beautiful.
Everybody are beautiful with the heart, I think, and the personality. Angelina Jolie, I think I will choose maybe a red wine also with this
Cabernet Sauvignon, maybe?
Maybe with Capsa, yes, like Capsa approach. And yes, it could be like with good character and some toast of maybe sherry. It could be interesting, Capsa and cherry.
That's good. So Nathalie, tell us, did you enjoy your interview?
Yes, funny interview. Thank you, Priscilla.
Give us a vote from 1 to 10.
9.
9. Oh, no 10.
Oh, 10. In France, we don't say, we say with time, but 10, but, or 9, but.
Thank you so much, Nathalie, for your interview. Would you like to just tell us the website address if people wanted to get more information about what you do, so people can just looking on the website?
Sure. So it's www.eBottli.com. So eBottli, it's EBOTTLI. And on the eBottli website, you have a link to go to Bottli, where you can support small wineries and to be connected directly to them and order their wonderful wines.
Thank you so much, Nathalie.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Thanks for listening to a new episode of Wine Soundtrack Australia. For details and updates, visit our website, winesoundtrack.com.